Today we're doing the Bergen County tier list. This is the insider tier list, going to be ranked from the S tier. These are the things that you know of if you grew up and you're a Bergen County native. And it's going to go down the list to the A tier. You don't have to be a native to really know about these things. You could live here for a little while and you'll pick them up. And then there's the B tier, the common knowledge. This stuff you're going to pick up the second you move to the area. Then we have the C tier. You can pick up on these things just by doing a quick Google search, kind of sort of vibe. All right, let's get into the tier list. Blue laws mean that shops are closed on Sundays. Retail shops. You can still go to the supermarket, you can still go to restaurants, but some people hate it, some people love it. Every resident definitely knows about them, but it's not like you had to grow up here to know about them. I'm gonna drop it right here in local legend lore. Then we got living in a bubble. It's kind of part of the self-narrative. Everything else sucks. You live in Bergen County, you're great. Everything that actually matters in the world matters in your own backyard. You live in a bubble if you're in Bergen County, let's be real. Then we have the 20 minutes away phenomenon, where everything is pretty much 20 minutes away. Depending on some places that you live, everything could be 10 to 15 minutes away. But we all know that if there's traffic, you don't even know how long it's going to take. I'm going to put this in the S tier. If you know that everything's 20 minutes away, but you also know that it's kind of fake. We just say that to make it feel like, we say it to make us feel good about ourselves. Then you have town, loyalty, and rivalry. It's more than just a rooting for the home team, root for the home team kind of vibe. This is deeply ingrained. It affects social circles. It affects real estate perceptions. And it even is going to affect things like where you buy your bagels or your pizza. The nuances of why your town's particular brand of suburban life is superior to others is pure game theory, and this is a really real part of living in Bergen County. It goes deep, and you have to be ingrained in the communities to really understand how deep this goes. S tier. Pressure to succeed. So we know that everything's competitive nowadays. Bergen County puts that on steroids. It's like literally the Bergen County flavor to be a highly competitive individual. And if you're falling behind, it will probably add a great deal of stress to your life. There's school pressure, there's career ambitions, there's material objects and expectations. All this stuff, keeping up with the Joneses, who in town is a CEO, who in town is a surgeon. It creates this unique undercurrent that's felt, even if it's not overly discussed. So it's like an atmospheric pressure. You're only going to feel this if you're really ingrained in the area and have long-term aspirations of being here. S tier. Healthcare. There's a big presence of major, well-regarded hospitals like Hackensack, Valley Hospital, Englewood, Holy Name. And the county is known for having abundant specialists in nearly every field of medicine that you can imagine. So people are generally aware of having really good access to great healthcare. It's common knowledge. Old versus new. This is something that you can see driving down most main roads in Bergen County. You see it happen constantly. There are older, smaller homes being replaced by large ones. The initial fad, we call them McMansions, but nowadays they're slowly inching up to becoming true mansions. A lot of 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom homes, 4 or 5 bathrooms, 3,000 plus square feet. You really won't see anything newly built under 3,000 square feet. And these big homes are replacing 1,800, 1,500 square foot homes. So it's really creating this cultural phenomenon of you can't buy a house where you grew up. Spotted by the observant C tier. Suburban Soundtrack. Pretty funny, this one. I actually saw a post on a Facebook group about Bergen County about how terrible the noise is to live here because there's a leaf blower going on outside their house. To those who are sensitive to their environment and spend a lot of time at home, you're going to hear the constant hum of landscaping. If you're close to any sort of park, you're going to hear the weekend cheers from the sports field. It's constantly in the background. Maybe it's common knowledge, but I would say it's pretty obvious. So don't move to Bergen County if you don't like the hum of leaf blowers, because you're going to be hearing them nonstop. Everybody hires landscapers. Private schools. A lot of people move to Bergen County already knowing that they're going to be having to send their kid to private schools because the town that they move to might be one of the lower ranked public school systems in the county. There's 70 municipalities. Most of them have amazing schools, Some of them don't. A lot of kids end up going to private school, especially from those less affluent towns that might not have the greatest public school systems. Wildlife encounters. This is pretty cool because even though you're right next to New York City and you're in this hyper compact, people living on top of people environment, you have a lot of green space and wildlife encounters in Bergen County, especially the towns that border the reservations. You're going to see deer all over the place, but you'll even see deer in some of the most populated areas where it doesn't even look like there's a tree in sight. You know, rabbits, chipmunks, squirrels all over the place, tons of bird diversity. Every once in a while, there's foxes and bears spotted by residents in town. So you might be amused, or you might be surprised, or you might be scared shitless from this stuff, but it's definitely going to be out there, and I'll say it's spotted by the observant. Gotta know a guy. If you just hire some company, especially a chain company, for some reason, the service or quality of work that you get will more often than not absolutely suck. So there's only a few specialists in each trade, in each field, in each thing that you really need in the area who really crush their work with extremely high quality and craftsmanship. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I just had that fixed. It ain't fixed right, buddy. Sorry. I know you think you did, but you didn't. So if you know, you need to have a guy, because if you don't necessarily know what kind of work you're going to be getting. These guys are often like locally referred amongst residents, and they're passed around like gold because the good ones are in business for a long time, and there's a reason for it. Shopping in malls. Generally, all the residents understand the different niches that each mall serves, like Riverside Square, high-end luxury. Bergen Town Center, complete mix of whoever wants something cheap from an outlet store. And it's common knowledge where to go for what, even if people don't even frequent the malls at all. So I'm going to put this in common knowledge. Actually, you know what? Yeah, common knowledge. Green spaces. Residents in Bergen County, they're aware and they utilize the larger county parks like Overpeck Park, Van Salm Park, Palisades Park for recreation. You go to these places on a nice summer Saturday, they're going to be packed. Locals flood to these places. The green spaces in Bergen County are simply amazing. I don't think that most people know that, so I'm going to put it in common knowledge for residents. If you're an observant just looking at Bergen County, you might not realize how amazing these green spaces are right off the bat. Sopranos Influence. So I'm going to say that people observe the Sopranos Influence. You might recognize filming locations, and you might acknowledge a pop culture connection here and there. I would say it's a fun observation rather than a daily impact, but there is that Sopranos influence in Bergen County, home of the Bada Bing, right there on Route 17 in Lodi. So it's cool that the Sopranos, was filmed here and existed here. It's something that I think anybody can pick up, and it's kind of cool. Traffic in Bergen County. There are specific nightmare bottlenecks and intersections on Route 4 and Route 17, especially at rush hour. The Garden State Parkway literally crawls. It doesn't stop. Who knows why it goes so slow? I mean, come on, Jersey people, get better at driving. But we know that there are strategies to avoid some of these congestion hotspots, and it's constantly a topic of conversation, debate, and shared misery in the area. Everyone has a horror story or a secret back road. The traffic in Bergen County, it's simply lore. Put it right there in the A tier. New York City, NYC. I mean, this is a big reason that people move to Bergen County. Everyone knows New York City is basically in your backyard. There's the quick commute. There's the George Washington Bridge. You always feel like New York City is right there for work, for play, for something that you need. It's definitely a common factor of why people live here. It's common knowledge. New York City, right there. Bergen County property taxes, everybody's favorite thing. The sheer height of these property taxes and the constant discussion, the constant debate, the constant anguish surrounding these taxes are pretty legendary. They're a defining part of the financial reality of living here in Bergen County. Kind of funny also how different municipalities all have different tax rates for essentially the same services. So you could be in New Milford, the highest tax rate in town, or you could be in Dumont, which also has a high tax rate, but the services are the same in both towns. The schools aren't anything to write home about in both towns, but you're going to be paying more property tax in one than the other. So I'm going to put it in local legend lore. you really don't know the impact of these property taxes until you get into the weeds on them. It's a very interesting phenomenon. And then hyper local government going a step deeper than just the tax rates. Like this is where the taxes go to. They go to that hyper local government. There's 70 towns in Bergen County. They're all super small and they all have super specific ordinances. They all have, like I said, varying tax rates for essentially the same services. And there are intense local politics where everyone knows the mayor. People are cutting each other's Achilles heels from the back. It's a crazy phenomenon, and it dictates a lot of the minutia of daily life in a way that's very hard to grasp from the outside, even hard to grasp from the inside. The hyper-local government of Bergen County municipalities is S tier on this list because you will only know if you truly know. I can't even describe it in this video. Up here, we got Jughandles, and you could put traffic circles in this category too. Navigating these roadways, this infrastructure, it's a learned skill, it's a common frustration, and it's a defining feature of New Jersey roads. So get used to them. They're here. I have no problems with them personally. I kind of like how easy you could just hop from one highway to another or make a U-turn with a private road pretty much rather than waiting at a left turn arrow. That's just not my thing. That's too Colorado. That's too Arizona. It's too like modern infrastructure. I like the old school infrastructure. And what does it look like? It looks like these jug handles and big clover loops and traffic circles. For me, it works. As a heads up, you don't put your blinker on, your indicator, your signal, however you call it, when you're driving a car. You don't put it on when you enter the traffic circle. You put it on when you're indicating that you want to leave the traffic circle. People don't know this, and it's apparent. So there you go. Now you know. Guarantee you, if you just learned this right now, you're not going to do it next time anyway. Screw you. But just kidding. You're kind of funny, and you're just part of the culture here. So I'm going to put them in B tier, common knowledge. So we said that private schools are in the B tier. It's common knowledge that a lot of people opt to send their kids to private schools, but the public school system is a bit more of a local legend and lore kind of vibe. The reason is that there's a reputation and a reality of high performing public schools, and there's intense competition for the magnet schools like Bergen County Academies and Bergen Tech. It's interesting how these schools not only affect local academics and youth, but how they drive real estate values. These are a part of Bergen County lore. Parents move here for the schools. Facts, facts, facts. Locals know about it. I mean, it's not super secretive. It's pretty apparent, but people move to Bergen County for the public schools. It's a thing. It's a complete thing. There's no way around it. Then we got Koreatown. Put this on the list because if you're in New York, a lot of people only know Bergen County. Like, especially the younger people, they only know it for Koreatown because a lot of people say Bergen County's Koreatown is better than New York City's Koreatown. And I mean, it's bigger. It's definitely bigger, you know, and New York City's got what, 2-3 blocks. There's a vibrancy, there's an authenticity, and there's a sheer scale of basically the largest Korean community in the United States, as well as a big point of pride and cultural destination for residents countywide. So Koreatown, Palisades Park, Fort Lee, the reputation is legendary. And I would say that it's a local legend lore feature of living in Bergen County. You have the volunteer fire and emergency medical services. I would say it's A tier because a lot of people don't realize that their local fire and emergency medical services folks are not paid. They're volunteers. Shouts out to the ones helping these communities. All right, I know we said New York City already, but this is just an ode to the legendary George Washington Bridge. It is iconic. Everything from the traffic nightmares to the smooth, beautiful drives into the city. It plays an essential role in connecting Bergen County to New York City. So it's legendary. It's local legend. I love the bridge. And then diners. Diner culture used to be way bigger in Bergen County. And there still are a handful of 24-hour diners. But over time, where every single town used to have a 24-hour diner, those diners, if they even still exist today, they probably close at 10 p.m. Most of the 24-hour diners you're going to find along pretty much Route 4 Hackensack, Fair Lawn kind of vibe. And it's sad that up in northern Bergen County, you don't really have 24-hour spots like it used to, but they still do exist, and there still is a big diner culture, especially on Sunday and Saturday mornings. These diners will have lines out the door. It's amazing how quickly these lines move. So even if there's a big crowd, you're going to be able to sit down. I would say it's a local legend and lore kind of thing, but it's slowly fading out to become something that used to be. There you have it. That's the insider knowledge tier list for Bergen County. Everything from the deep cuts that only true Bergen County people know to the broader things that can be spotted by any observant. You'll notice nothing is really on the D tier, because this would just be like stuff like a supermarket exists, stuff like that, like super simple stuff that everybody knows about. So I try to get you guys a good vibe of everything that's going on in the county and how like secretive it is to people who only live here versus how obvious it is to everybody else in the world. Hope you guys liked this video. Let me know if you did. Drop a comment down below. If you're looking to sell a house in Bergen County, drop your address in njcomps.com. That's my partner website sponsoring this video. And what they do is provide a real estate agent to research your house online. They're going to give you a price range based off comps that they're going to personally pull for you. They'll send you the whole report, and it gives you an opportunity at the end to have them over for a private tour where they could give you an exact listing price. Again, if you're looking to sell. If you're looking to buy, check out my website, link in the description down below. I am a Bergen County specialist with knowledge of all 70 towns in the county and the commutes to New York City from all of them. So if you're looking for something in Bergen County, let me know your vibe, let me know what you're looking for, your price range, and I'll help you identify the best places for you to live. I've done it successfully for a lot of clients in the past. Check out my Google reviews. Appreciate you guys listening to this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.